at what was actually happening in the economy.
As you well know, sir, all the governors of the Federal Reserve Board are appointed by the president and confirmed by the United States Senate. There is this other animal, the 12 Reserve Bank presidents who vote. They have the same vote at the Federal Open Market Committee meetings. In recent days, we've heard hawkish views. Charles Plosser of Philadelphia Fed, Tom Hoenig of Kansas City, Dick Fisher of Dallas, Bill Poole of St. Louis. What's your thought on Reserve Bank presidents are not appointed by the president. They are not subject to confirmation by either the House or the Senate, and yet they have really an equal vote. What's your thought on that?
As you know, not all of them vote. What is it? 4 of the 12 at any one time, but that's still a lot of votes on the FOMC. And yeah, that's a serious issue for our democracy to look at. They are the only purely private individuals in the country, I believe, who exercise very significant government power. They are appointed, they are private entities appointed by private entities. And by the way, the Fed, they lose sight of that so much. I will give you a story, Gary. When we first were asked by some of the banks and others to look into the negotiations over Basel II, that very important accord, we found that the committee to deal with it consisted of the control of the currency, presidential appointed, Senate confirmed, the Federal Reserve, there was one other official, and the New York Fed. Well, when did the New York Fed become the equivalent of all these other confirmed presidential appointees? It was kind of like in the days after World War II, to make the Soviet Union happy, we gave extra votes to Belarus and Ukraine because, you know, and that's the mentality. So I agree with you. That's a serious issue. It's not Fed bashing. You have private citizens. These Fed banks are appointed in a private way. There's no governmental role. And yes, I do question whether they should have the degree of governmental power they have. They can sit, they can talk. And it does appear, as you've noted, that, and you know, one of the things that I think I'm going to ask my staff to do, and Larry, I'll give you credit for jogging me into this, I think I'd like to analyze, of course, as you know, by the time the Fed votes, it's kind of like the Politburo in the old days. Dissenters are not heard from. But you could analyze the statements. And if it were to turn out that the presidents of the regional banks weren't just not appointed by the president, confirmed by the Senate, but that there was a substantive bias there, that would be something to look at.
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, Chairman?